Hello from me, Hubert Gregg, to you of the Monday Club. And you who may have tuned in by accident, stay with us because we have balm to soothe away stress, sounds and sweet airs that give delight and hurt not. All seated and happy? Minutes? Who said minutes? Shall we throw precious titbits into the greedy maw of time? Right, taken as read. Thank you for writing to me from North London, Judith. A final CZ is always a challenge and you don't give me a clue. I'll spell you Koncz. You see what I mean? You have a novel way of the list. A few songs by my favourite vocalists, Helen Forrest and Whispering Jack. That's clear enough. Jack Smith, the whispering baritone, was an American charmer. The ladies over here fell like raindrops on a spring day.
Now, boys were made for girls and girls were made for boys, made to share each other's cares and joys, and life without a mate is like an empty plate. And what did Adam say before he met his fate? There ain't no sense sitting on the fence all by yourself in the moonlight. There ain't no thrill by the watermill all by yourself in the moonlight. There ain't no fun sitting beneath the trees, giving yourself a hug, giving yourself a squeeze. Love's a farce sitting on the grass all by yourself in the moonlight. Now he's must have their she's and she's must have their he's, otherwise there'd be no family trees. Why, even in the zoos they keep them there in twos, otherwise there'd be no little kangaroos. There ain't no sense sitting on a fence all by yourself in the moonlight. There ain't no thrill by the watermill all by yourself in the moonlight. There ain't no fun sitting beneath the trees, giving yourself a hug, giving yourself a squeeze. It's insane swinging down the lane all by yourself in the moonlight. Now it gets your goat riding in the boat all by yourself in the moonlight. And it's all a fake swimming in a lake all by yourself in the moonlight. Now it don't make sense sitting upon the sands whispering to yourself, ain't the scenery grand? There ain't no vim when you go to swim all by yourself in the moonlight. Now you can't tell lies to the butterflies all by yourself in the moonlight. And you'll agree that you're poor company all by yourself in the moonlight. When you're alone, it doesn't bring delight. Kissing yourself hello, kissing yourself good night, and there ain't no kick. Gosh, it makes you ill all by yourself in the moonlight. Now there ain't no sense sitting on the fence
all by yourself in the moonlight.
And there ain't no thrill by the watermill
all by yourself in the moonlight.
There ain't no fun sitting beneath the trees, giving yourself a hug, giving yourself a squeeze. Love's a farce sitting on the grass.
Hurrah!
I beg your pardon, gentlemen. All by yourself in the moonlight.
Jack Smith recalled. Younger ladies see what I mean. Another cabaret performer from America who lit up the late-night London scene in the 30s was Valaida Snow. Was it the Nest or the Bag of Nails I saw her first? These nightclubs, some of them, could have been used as models for the much later movie Bugsy Malone. They were more wacky than wicked. Al Burnett in gown and mortarboard made you sing Susie sitting in the shoeshine shop, hoping you wouldn't quite make it. Once more, and this time a little bit faster, went his cry again and again, until at last he didn't make it at all. What jinx! The Condos brothers danced. It wasn't for years that I realized they were 2/3 of the center trio in that terrific lullaby of Broadway tap routine in the movie Gold Diggers of 35. Valaida sang, and whenever she had breath to spare, played the trumpet, of which, according to her billing, she was the queen. In September of 36, she recorded several sides with a British group under the pianist George Scott Wood that included Reed man Freddie Gardner.
You say we can't marry because you haven't got a dime, and all that you can spend is just a lot of time. You don't own an auto or a tract of land. Oh, but honey, I don't mind that. It's because I understand. You don't need $1 million. I've bought your shirts and collars, but I want lots of love from you. Oh my, I don't need the things you mentioned, but I do need some attention, and I want a lot of love from you. People may have swell homes by the Thames or on the Drive, but your love could make me say, oh, it's great to be alive. I don't need fine silks and laces, but I do love babies' faces, so I want a lot of love from you. I would wash your shirts and collars, but I want a lot of love from... Honey, don't be so contrary. I feel so unnecessary. I don't need things mentioned. I do need some attention, and I want lots of love. I don't care how hard you hit me, just so long as you don't quit me. I don't need swing me on out there, boys. Talk to me, son, talk to me. I want lots of love. Da-da-dee-doo, da-da-dee-doo. Those people may have well. Oh, I hear you tickling them ivories there on the bass keys. Yes, but your love could make me say, if you didn't even have no hair, I'd say, stick him on me, I don't care. But I do love faces. I want love from... Turn the hose on me, boys, I'm burning up again.
Wonderful little Valaida, Queen of the Trumpet. Here's a curio of a 78 that came to my notice after a telephone call from an old friend. It was made at the beginning of the war when certain parts of the BBC were removed to Bristol. The song was all the rage and is sung by the Three in Harmony, the group led by Bob Mallin's wife, Yolande. The accompaniment is by Brian Lawrance and his Lansdowne House Sextet. What were they doing in Bristol? And there is a child's voice that chimes in with a solo every now and then. To whom does it belong?
Fishy too. Swim, said the mommy fishy, swim if you can. And they swam all over the dam. Down in the meadow in a little bitty pool swam 3 little fishies and a mama fishy too. Swim, said the mama fishy, swim if you can. And they swam all over the dam.
Did and dot and water. Did and dot and water. Did and dot and water. And they swam all over the dam.
Said the mommy fishy, or you will get lost. But the 3 little fishes didn't want to be lost. So the 3 little fishes went off on a spree, and they swam right out to the sea. Stop, said the mama fishy, or you will get lost. But the 3 little fishes didn't want to be lost. So the 3 little fishes went off on a spree, and they swam right out to sea.
autumn autumn. Oop, oop, didn't autumn autumn. Oop, oop, didn't autumn autumn. And they swam right out to sea. Here's a lot of fun, we'll swim in the sea till the day is done. So they swam and they swam.
It was a lark till all of a sudden they met a shark. We are the little fishes, here's a lot of fun. We'll swim in the sea till the day is done. So they swam and it was a lark till all of a sudden they met a shark.
Oop, oop, didn't autumn autumn. Oop, oop, didn't autumn autumn. Oop, oop, didn't autumn autumn. Till all of a sudden they met a shark.
Whoop, whoop, there's another whoop. Whoop, whoop, there's another whoop. Whoop, whoop, there's another whoop.
Come on, sister, come away from that shark.
Help, cried the little fishes. Gee, look at the whales. Quick as they could, they turned on their tails. And back to the pool in the meadow they swam. And they swam back over the dam.
Didn't autumn autumn. Oop, oop, didn't autumn autumn. Oop, oop, didn't autumn autumn. And they swam back over the dam.
Basil, you naughty boy. Where are you? Here I am, Mum, under the weeds.
I hope he got out all right. The three famous sprats, or whatever they were, fimming about the itty pitty boo, which I always took to be baby talk from Mississippi, but there aren't any sharks in the Mississippi. I think Brian Lawrance and his Lansdowne House Orchestra, I think, not sextet. Vocal by the three in harmony, and there were some fellas in there. And my friend since school days, Maurice Denham. Apart from being an actor of distinction, Maurice could always put his vocal cords to the creation of all manner of characters and treated Piscean infanthood as a barrel of fun. Thank you, Maurice, and best wishes to you from all here at the Monday Club office. Mary Ellis, hello to you. Isn't it marvellous to know that the original Rose Marie is witty, well, and with us? She wrote a terrific autobiography, which was followed by an exquisite book of short stories, and has actually written the end at the close of her first novel. I'm dying to read it. But I go back now to her appearance in C.B. Cochrane's Music in the Air at His Majesty's Theatre in May of 1933. The music in the air was by Jerome Kern, the lyrics by Oscar Hammerstein II.
Night is all my own, to dream of love, to love my dreams, to lose them all in shadow. I'm alone, wondering where you may be.
Mary Ellis. Do you mind, Mary, if I mention that we met for drinks before Christmas? We got on to yesterday, of course, and you said how nice it was that we both remembered the same things. Then, in answer to my probing about your memories of early opera at the Metropolitan in New York, you said you wouldn't forget singing with Caruso. I passed and merely listened enchanted. In the movie All the King's Horses, it was Carl Brisson who brought you a white gardenia. Do you think I might steal a march just this once?
For I bring a little white gardenia, as refreshing as a day in May. You may wear it if you care, or toss it away. If you look into this white gardenia, there's a message there I dare not say, that I'll let this little white gardenia convey. Who knows, tomorrow we may be together or so far apart. Take this token of my love, cherish it and keep it close to your heart. If our paths should ever cross again, dear, accidentally or by fate's design, if you wear a little white gardenia, I'll know you are mine. Who knows, tomorrow we may be together or so far apart. Take this token of my love, cherish it and keep it close to your heart. If our paths should ever cross again, dear, accidentally or by fate's design, if you wear a little white gardenia, I'll know you are mine.
A song from me to you, Mary Ellis, and to you. Thank you for a beautiful litter of letters still arriving about my programme on the yesterdays of Bournemouth. Thank you, John Clifford of Sutton in Surrey, for the memorabilia. John Mayton, is it, in Wimborne in Dorset? You're still in the area. Maggie Thompson, no address given. I love your card and the poem and the picture on the front. A copy of a watercolour by you. It's charming and I shall keep it. I may frame it. E.P. Groom, you spent your honeymoon in Bournemouth, the beginning of a long and happy life. You too remember the little coloured jars with candles or nightlights, perhaps, in the gardens at night. Here's Sidney Bechet, I suppose he called it, in his clarinet, with friends, having a laser beam played onto him. If you have shaving mirror equipment, prepare to make a note. Stompy Jones, that was, and don't ask me who he was, recorded in September of 1940 by Sidney Bechet and his Feet Warmers. If it warmed yours, you may care to know that it's obtainable today on a newly issued shaving mirror called simply Bechet, with the great You May Be Brief. If you'd like to acquire this, playable only with the right machine, no wind-ups with Duragolds, ask for Past 9772. Past, P-A-S-T, 9772, or drop a line to this office for forwarding. What now to close this meeting of the Monday Club? Something quiet, something romantic. Why not? But why? The evening is young. I'm not quite ready to settle down, are you? Except maybe to something rhythmic. Peggy Lee, guesting on the Crosby radio show, which she did many a time and oft, and no wonder.
You came a long way from St. Louis. Climbed the ladder of success. I've seen the town and country cars that were parked out in front of your fancy address.
I came a long way from St. Louis.
Yes, indeed, you got around.
And broke a lot of hearts between.
I met a gang of gloomy guys who were doing all right.
Till I came on the scene.
You fractured them.
You blew in from the Middle West.
First class.
Certainly impressed the population hereabouts.
Well, baby, I got news for you. I'm from Missouri, too. So naturally, I got my doubts.
I got 'em dropping by the wayside.
A feeling I ain't gonna know. You came a long way from St. Louis, but baby, you still got a long way to go. Say, Peg, you're a North Dakota gal, and I hail, as the fella says, from the state of Washington.
Well, partner, that's an opening for a parody, if I ever heard one.
Certainly appears so.
You came a long way from Tacoma.
I really took it on the land. I should have stood in bed in Spokane instead, but I just lost my head. What a ham. You came a long way from Dakota.
I should have stayed back on the farm.
We'd have missed you.
Some people say it probably would have been better, but somebody twisted my arm.
You came here from the Middle West and certainly impressed the population hereabouts.
I never thought I'd see the day I'd sing with you this way.
You mean you ever had your doubts?
I didn't do so well in Memphis.
I laid an egg in Tennessee, and we remember all the times we were fired,
or else we were hired for free.
So we won't be forgetting, you know, that we still have a long way to go.
Bing Crosby duetting with Peggy Lee on Bing's American Wireless program in October of 1948, and bringing this session to a close until a sennight from now, when I shall be here on Wireless 2 again to square chair another meeting of the Monday Club. Incidentally, speaking of sennights, I loved your letter, Ken Gosling, from Bramling near Canterbury. I was helping you, say, to solve a crossword last weekend in which one clue was "then sing out for a week of old." Brains were racked, and then, of course, I thought, sennight, and in it went. Well, I can be reached at the BBC in London if you have it in mind to send me half a dozen or so ideas, titles or performers, but not, please, linked. Until we reconvene, this is Hubert Gregg saying, Mary Ellis, do you remember when we appeared together on Dennis Norton's television show, Looks Familiar? He encouraged you to recall the occasion in New York when they invited you to play Rosemarie. What did Oscar Hammerstein say to you, Dennis asked, suggesting, I've written a musical play, it's about this Mountie. And it must have been something like that. If only they'd known it was the birth of a classic, somebody might have been at hand to make notes. He might equally have said, it's about this girl called Rose, who has a first name for a second name, too. I see Alan Dell is pacing in the wings on the prompt side, so this is Hubert Gregg about to make an exit on the OP with Au revoir to you.